crop plants that are actually outside of this. So it's you know, beef taproot, nitrogen fixer. There's elecampane, and you know, medicinal herbs is my main cash crop actually. That's what you mainly see here. Next. A shot of some of the harvests at one point in time. We have a lot of berries on the place, a lot of herbs, and a lot of vegetables. So just a wide diversity of things. A lot of times we're out there harvesting, you know, 10, 15 things in one day. Okay. And it's really tasty to have lots of berries in the landscape throughout the season, so there's always something to nibble on.
Are you east of the Cascades?
I'm east of the Cascades in the Okanagan Valley in a 12-inch rainfall zone using irrigation, zone 5. And here we are in the first part, in the back to the early part of the year, and this is the same kind of situation you were seeing in those really lush shots, in the first part of the year. And of course, over time, the shrubs and trees get taller and taller until this finally becomes a forest garden or an agroforestry, forest farming situation. This is just an early stage. This does not, every year it changes. It changes quite a bit every single year. We're putting manure on, and there's a lot of chip piles in the background. So
there's that blue pickup.
Pardon?
There's that blue pickup.
Yeah. And that's well used. So in my type of system, I put a lot of energy, human energy and resources, manures and fertilizers in the first few years of the system. But then the system, once it really gets going, I hardly have to add any more nutrients or none, and there's very little hand labor. I use tractors the first year before establishing to get a nice seed bed and get it all nice and nice blank slate before I put the system in. But there's less and less effort required as time goes on. Productivity can stay high, but there's less inputs needed.
Peter, what do you do for irrigation?
I use a variety of things. In some places it's drip, some places it's small micro sprinklers, and some places it's regular rainbirds. I think I would say I prefer the drip. Or actually I really like the whizzers, because drip puts it on just at a certain part of the landscape. And so I have part of the soil surface is dry. And I like all my soil to be like full of life and really cranking. And if I have dry areas partway in the season, I don't have weed growth there, which is handy. But then I have a lot less of the soil block that's being utilized by the roots of either the crops or the weeds. I like really weedy rows. Maybe we'll see some more shots of that. Okay. So this is what it looks like in a first-year setting. And there's some perennial rows in there, but this is basically all going to be going into carrots and annual crops, and a lot of it went into perennial crops this year. This particular piece of ground was really in horrible shape. It was basically a parking lot compacted. Weeds would hardly grow there. Just extremely dire. And in 3 years, I've got it turned around to being really productive. But I wanted to keep adding amendments and tilling for those first 3 years, but now I'm going into the perennial phase.